Welcome to DABCC Radio,
where smart people listen.
Virtualization and Cloud Talk,
Featuring cutting-edge solutions from the hottest companies around the globe.
broadcasting from the DABCC offices in sunny Sarasota, Florida.
Surrounded by computers, books, and Legos.
A Microsoft MVP, Citrix Charter CTP, VMware vExpert.
And your host, Douglas Brown.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of DABCC Radio. I'm Doug Brown, your host, and I'm very excited to have UniPrint back on the line with us. And I really love talking with Arron. He's one of my favorite people. He's really smart, and he's actually quite funny and extremely smart. So I'm very happy to have Arron, the CTO and founder of UniPrint, back on the line with us today. And we're going to talk about printing, mobile printing, cloud printing, just printing galore. And it's a really lively conversation. I'm recording the intro after I recorded the actual podcast, so I know how it ends. I know how it goes, guys, and I really enjoyed it. Arron's a great guy. So with no further ado, let's just talk printing for a bit. So here's my interview with Arron from UniPrint.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do with this and coming back on the line, Arron. It's been a little while since we've had you on the show, but not that long. So it's always fun to have you on. I'm a big fan. So that being said, let's get going. As always, my first question is, who are you? So let's go around the horn real quick and do the who are you. And Arron, I'll start with you. Who are you and what do you do over at UniPrint?
Yeah, I'm in charge of all the technical aspect of UniPrint, the CTO of UniPrint, if that makes it better. So building the product directions, where is it going, all that stuff it's under my belt. Been with UniPrint since day one, so founder of UniPrint, they call me sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. They call you a little bit of everything sometimes, right? You do about everything over there. So you are the UniPrint
in that sense. Yeah, definitely.
You got it. A printing guru. Sagnik, can you tell us a bit about who you are and what do you do over at Citrix Ready?
Hey Doug, glad to be back. So I'm the technical marketing specialist of desktop ecosystem at Citrix Ready. I work with partners like UniPrint. I also take care of the strategy in terms of verticalization and how we make Citrix Ready get more out there in terms of vertical marketing. So yeah, so pretty much that's it from my side.
Perfect. And Sagnik, good to have you back on. It's always fun to have you on the line, right? So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. So, okay. So what do I say, Arron? Can you tell us a bit about UniPrint, the history and how you guys got started? You are Mr. UniPrint after all, right? So why did you go about embarking on creating a printing company?
Well, we started off with a company called Arron System, actually. We were the biggest Citrix reseller integrator in year 2000 or 19, well, for a couple of years anyway. But UniPrint was created in year 2000 when we see that there's a big problem on printing, so for remote user. At that point, Citrix, I can't remember the name of that product now. MetaFrame? No, not even that.
That was MetaFrame.
Remember? Yeah. Some kind of view. I remember now. Oh my God. Anyway. Big problem on printing for remote user at home. They don't know what to do. They come to us. We created a product with a couple of engineers and say, hey, maybe that will work. So we created a universal printer driver. We create PDF file in the background, send it across, reprint the PDF file, and that seems to be a big hit in year 2000. And from that point on, we become a printing solution company. We create a whole part of different solution now. For mobile, for VDI, post module, back-end printing. We basically now just help people to print better.
You got it. I remember. Yeah. I remember when you guys were founded. I was, I started with the WinFrame product back in 97, 96, 97 era. So I remember this company called, UniPrint or when you named it UniPrint. But I remember hearing about these guys up in Canada doing some neat stuff around printing. So, yeah. I guess I don't remember the name, but I remember these guys up in Canada doing some neat stuff around printing. How's that? You like that?
Yeah, I think it's an OS2. WinView was the first version of Citrix product.
Yeah, WinView was before my time. That was the OS2 piece. You're right.
Yeah, that's when we noticed them. But then when they move over to Windows WinFrame, yeah, that's when we was really big on it. Once they switch over to Windows, suddenly everything takes off. That's when Citrix becomes Citrix now.
Yeah,
it was back old day for sure.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Gosh, that was a long time ago. We were all young kids with a lot of hair. So,
hey, I still got hair.
You still have hair?
Although I do have to fix the color once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I like going gray. It makes me look like George Clooney, is what I tell people. So, anyway, what are you? Let's talk. We have Citrix on the, Citrix Ready. This is the Citrix Ready podcast. So, what are your views on the Citrix, UniPrint, Citrix Ready partnership? Citrix Ready has always been enhancing their Citrix, their printing feature set within the within XenApp, XenDesktop. So can you talk about that relationship, where you guys add value there, things like that? And I want to ask both Sagnik and you, Arron. So Arron, let's start with you. Where's your view there?
Well, we've been partner obviously at the very beginning. We helped with Citrix Integrator. So when Citrix have printing issue, they come to us. We get a solution together. Everybody's happy. Citrix happy. We are happy. And then Citrix come up with Universal Printer Driver 2. But I would say it's like everything else. It's just we are, Citrix have to provide printing solution. Obviously, continue growing that part, but it's not their prime focus. While we had also involved now, we had secure pole printing. We support mobile, we support outside of Citrix world, like VMware, VDI, all that stuff, so that we expand our printing solution also on different area. The relationship are good. Obviously, Citrix still have some printing challenge, depends on situation. So we had a interesting relationship. I think we like each other, we work with each other, we market with each other. I think right now, our focus is healthcare in a way, because there's a lot of printing in healthcare still, and it's an interesting relationship, I have to say. But it's good. We love and hate each other sometimes, like any other relationship.
Exactly. But I mean, come on, there's not many. I've partnered with and worked with and been around in many different relationships, and I don't think, and I'm honest about this, I don't think there's a big company of size that's a better partner than Citrix. I really believe that they're both a channel focus but also an ISV focused company, and this is an example, these podcasts that we do of the relationship that Citrix brings. It's really a great company. I've been happy to be related with them in many ways for many years. So great company. Yeah, you bet. So Sagnik, can you add your 2 cents there?
Yeah, thanks, Doug. And it's an interesting point that Arron raised about the healthcare, and yes, we do a lot about healthcare industry as such. We have strong credentials as such with Citrix. We're worldwide, having more than 4 million caregivers that use Citrix every day. They're almost 100% of top 10 largest US healthcare organizations use Citrix, and over 88% of Epic Health Space installs is installed worldwide that use Citrix. And there's also the Cerner deployments, over 2,000, I think about 250K concurrent users at hundreds of hospitals. So we do give a complete end-to-end solution, and printing does come up often. It's one of those essential services that often comes up, and UniPrint is one of those very good partners who has a very great printing solution overall. So I find the product very aligned to our products, which is built for mobility and security. And and definitely it gives more authenticity to the word universal where it comes to the enhancement that they have recently come up with the iOS and the Android, supporting all these platforms, Chromebooks, to an existing corporate printing infrastructure. So that talks a lot about the joint customers, and we have been working together for past, I don't know how many years. That's long time. And yeah, I think Arron will also talk about their recent more features like secure print optimization and VPAD. But yeah, I think we are pretty much aligned our products, and we are continuing to do more.
You bet. The printing is one of those solutions that, how do I say, just the value solutions like UniPrint brings, it's just huge, because Citrix is a great platform, and they offer a great platform, solution printing, enhancements, printing feature set, what have you, and then you get into what UniPrint adds on, and things like the pole printing that Arron talked about, and also cloud printing, right? So I want to ask you, Arron, real quick about cloud printing, because what is that, So I'll just say that, Arron, what is cloud printing?
I think cloud printing is start off with this cloud term, being in the cloud. It's a new term that got introduced. I don't know how long ago, maybe 3 years ago. What do you think?
Oh, cloud's been around for a while. That's 10 years, maybe, right? The problem with
10 years?
cloud
Is really that long, eh? Because
Yeah.
I remember server-based computing, I remember SaaS models, I remember all that stuff, and then suddenly there's a cloud. Everything is a cloud now. Really, from my point of view, it's almost like a remote printing mechanism. Is that you don't own the cloud. There's like public and there's the private. It's almost like someone's out there have this data center, and they have the brain power. And unfortunately, printing against like Citrix, server-based computing, where you can't pick the printer and make a cloud service of it. I mean, I print something, I want it to be next to me and I'll pick it up. But with cloud, I can't have a printer that is installed in the data center or somewhere in a private cloud, and then the paper stand back to me 3 days later. So the printer is always going to be kind of thing that next to you. It's almost like your cell phone. So to handle that, we call that cloud printing now, because most of your intelligence, your IT is now in the cloud, but your printer is still next to you. So you kind of have to handle that, and UniPrint's been doing that for Citrix, which is very cloud ready. So it's kind of naturally a place that we get into, and the solution works very well under the cloud printing. I hope that defines cloud printing. I don't know whether that really defines it, but it's a way that you need to print through the big cloud.
You got it. The problem with the word cloud is it means about 10,000 different things to 10,000 different people, right? So it's such a ambiguous term. But what do you say? My next question would be, how do you do it? So the driver sit in the cloud. Where? How does that work? So can you maybe you can describe your cloud printing solution to us in a little bit more technical? You're Mr. Printer, so give us the technical specs of that type of what you mean by cloud printing. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. There's multiple reasons why people like the fact that one of the major push obviously is to take your data center and push as much as possible all your equipment, your all your management, and put it into Amazon or Microsoft, whatever cloud that they provide. The second you did that, then there is a bunch of stuff that tends to cause problem. Your Active Directory might not be going across your security, your VPN, your network. All that stuff are now separate. Someone else has part of it, and you have part of it. And one of the major advantage of UniPrint is we have built our solution to be detached. We don't need Active Directory to be synchronized. We don't need VPN. We don't need direct network connection in a lot of ways. We built our solution so that we don't need you to open ports and had all this network security issue. Because when we build our solution, our print server, for instance, it totally doesn't have to be part of the Active Directory. It could be standalone. Our VPAD device, they all just kind of work without with minimal security. I shouldn't say there is no security. Obviously there is, but it doesn't have to be part of the Active Directory. It doesn't have to be linked to anything. And so it was built as a detached model to handle all this. And suddenly the cloud movement make it easy for UniPrint just kind of make it work. Just imagine you take your data center and move it to the cloud, and a typical customer. Suddenly you got 3 printers at your office, and you say, how do I print to them? And unless I expose my IP address to the public world or form a VPN, the cloud or the provider can't really get access to my printer. So how do I do this? Now, the UniPrint will have a beautiful solution. You just now take a box, throw it into your data, your remote location, and then it suddenly form a miniature VPN automatically within itself, and then suddenly you got exposure to all your printers, so you can print it. So that works well in a VDI environment, or even like laptop that moves around, or your mobile device. And then another thing that makes it easier is the secure pole printing portion of it, of UniPrint. Now you can print and without worrying which printer you pick. So imagine you have a big site and it was fantastic that you have 15 locations, everybody's mobile, you got your cloud, and you were able to do all your computing and anywhere you want. But then when it comes to printing, I have to pick and choose the right printer. If I print it wrong, it could go back, when I'm in Toronto and then accidentally print to New York. And I didn't know, and now suddenly my print job that is very sensitive coming out of the New York office. But with secure pole printing, all that suddenly disappears. I don't retrieve my print job unless I'm in front of a printer. With UniPrint, it just makes it that much simpler. So there's a lot of advantage, and just a couple of them that you can I just kind of describe right now.
Yeah, makes sense. What about high availability? Can you talk a bit about high availability in printing, and do we need it? Why do we need it? Things of that nature.
There's 2 parts into high availability. Secure pole printing in terms of printer go down, make it that much easier for people to get their job. If this printer go down, I walk over to another printer, I pick up my print job, and UniPrint function even allow you to reprint your jobs, your old job. You can take a look at them, you can reprint it again. So if anything wrong with any one of those printers, you're not relying on one printer or that particular printer, and then you have to go back and print again. For people like company, mostly healthcare, that require 100% uptime for printing, then we have to build in UniPrint a high availability with redundancy on almost everything, that no single point of failure for healthcare solutions, so that we have a healthcare solution kit is part of the health high availability. So we got lots of any single component within UniPrint is redundant in that sense, so that there is no single point of failure, and so you continuously get your print job, which is very important in healthcare. And so there is a situation where it's important. Some lawyer might need it, some government organization might need them. Healthcare definitely is one of the places that we see all the time, but not for everybody, I should say.
You bet. And
a good idea?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned pole printing a few times. So for those who might not be familiar with what that is, can you talk real briefly about what pole printing is and what that means and how it works?
Yeah, there's a couple of advantages of pole printing, definitely. Pole printing basically means when I print something, I don't really know exactly when I'm going to retrieve my print job yet. So you detach the printing, like a traditional printing, I'm printing to this HP printer. You know the printer, you know the destination, you map to the printer, you print to it. And then you retrieve your print job. It's already printed to that printer, you pick it up. Well, the secure pole printing or pole printing, when you print something, you don't really know when and where you're going to retrieve your print job yet. You have no designated printer. In fact, with UniPrint, if you use it properly, like like we do at the office, you only have a single print queue that is belong to you in a way. You print to this secure personal queue, and all your print jobs suddenly just kind of sit there. And you walk over the printer, and then you authenticate again with either mobile phone or your VPAD device that we had, and then you retrieve your print job to that printer that you want to get your print job from. So that's how pull printing work. And you can pick up your print job anywhere with UniPrint solution. There's pull printing solution out there that is only designated printer or a certain type of printer. With UniPrint, because of the technology we use in the background, like PDF files and all that stuff, you can actually, really print a job and retrieve it on a label printer in a way, but it might be too small for you to look at.
Yeah, I imagine that's huge in the healthcare space, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the doctor just roam around. You think people move around a lot as a CIO or CFO, but you look at this healthcare, they move around, but within the one building. They're like every 5 minutes, they're in different places, and there's no way to keep track where they are. So when they print something, it always comes out the wrong printer without UniPrint.
Yeah. Well, I like that. Now that's a tagline. When you print something, it always comes out of the wrong printer without UniPrint.
Wow. Hey, marketing, take notes. Sometime I come up with
I like that one. That was a good one, Arron. But it's true. It's so true. I mean, healthcare is talking about on the go, right? If a doctor gets to sit down, then he's probably she is probably a happy man or woman. And
in fact, that's one of the interesting things. The doctor normally don't print. It's only when they sit down. So when they have a coffee, that's when they print. And they actually literally like print something, grab it, secure post. So they gather all the job together. So they print maybe throughout the day with this solution, and then they get all the print job all at once when they pulled it.
Makes sense.
Have a coffee. So it kind of helped them to change the way they work, right? Before they would have to remember I have to print this 5 things to look at. It's almost like I changed my habit on working now too. I read an email, I say, I need to look at this when I print it, and I might have 5 print jobs standing. And then by the time I go get my coffee, I already solved the first 2. And so I only print the last 2 and go through with that. So it's interesting how it changes the way people work too with secure pull printing.
That's really interesting because it reminds me of my reading list, right? I don't know if if you use an iPhone or if Android has this or what have you, but on my iPhone I have a reading list. So I come upon an article and I don't have the time to read it right then, so I just add it to my reading list, and then later I sit down and read it. Well, believe it or not, I'm old and I don't like to read on a computer. I really don't. So I tend to print those things off, and now a lot of times I'll read my websites, but if it's longer, I will print it. And so that's actually really the same type of, it's like a reading list in a printing queue in a way. You know what I mean? It's
I totally is. That's how I work now. I go get my coffee and then I release my. And the good thing is you don't normally, when you look at it, you might want to take care of that solution. Like as I say, when I print 5 jobs, I don't normally retrieve all 5. I may retrieve the 2 because those 2 take time. The other 3 is already taken care of. I don't need it anymore. Just delete it off the print queue. So you save paper, you save. The whole workflow changes a little, and it saves money in terms of paper and tree.
Yeah, exactly. That's in time, right? And time is the big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously the environment's important, but at the moment, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say
people upset with that.
I was going to say a lot of people might sacrifice time for the environment, but I guess that's human nature, maybe after all, and we won't go down that path. But anyway, well, that's really interesting. That is really interesting. We've talked a lot to you, about what you guys do. We've never gone down that path. That's phenomenal. It made me just think completely differently about what you guys do and about printing in general. I love it. I love it. So I'm curious if other people are like, that's interesting. Never thought that way before. So, Sagnik, anything to add there? That's sort of an interesting thought process, thread there. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you say that read it later. I do actually like the idea. I'm also a printing person, even though I'm in the newer generation. I do like to take my prints out. It helps me uh, because I'm not always like to look into my screen, and yeah, it gives me strain to my eyes. So yeah, I think it is actually a very good analogy.
Yeah, really fascinating. Okay, so we talked about cloud printing, and you talked about things like Amazon and Azure. Uh, it's how I won't say how well does it work? I mean, are there any? It's just a simple. Is it part of the Azure marketplace? What does it take to get this thing up and running? I guess with when we're talking about the cloud, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, we just certify, and now you can actually go to Azure Marketplace and just say turn on a UniPrint server
Ah,
for you, and it will. Then there's a couple of options. You can either buy a piece of hardware from us, drop it into your remote site. Just think of it. I push my data center stuff all onto Azure Marketplace, and then so I got my VDI, Citrix, whatever, all that stuff's up there, and I got my laptops and all these things, and then they say, okay, my office in New York have 3 printers. I need connection and how to print to it, and all you have to do is go to the marketplace, subscribe to the UniPrint server, turns it on, got some public IP address and all that stuff. Everything is automatically done for you. And then you got this either install piece of software in one of your stations, or you put in a little box that we created called VPad, and then configure it. And next thing you know, you can print to those printers from your VDI or from your laptop or your mobile device. It's that simple. It doesn't require a VPN connection, doesn't require you configure any network. It just works. And we went through that process, and we have a couple of customers already using that. Once they move over to the data center, move over to the cloud, and the next thing they know is, how do I deal with these printers? And it worked perfectly for them.
oh, that's great. That is really awesome. I love it. That's very simple, right? I mean, just
Yeah,
super
it is.
simple.
It is. Yeah, and we keep improving it and make it easier and easier. Obviously, the first round is a little bit tougher, and then we tune it. Now it's just like you can probably get your printer up running with Azure Marketplace. You turn on a server, it takes about 10 minutes to create that server, and then you another 10 minutes, you're all set, ready to print.
Wow. That's the right there is the benefit of the cloud. Wow, there's so many benefits of the cloud, but
Yes,
right there is
it's
one of
great.
the sexy parts of the cloud, right? 10, 20 minutes and you're up and you're done. Considering back in my day when it took 20 minutes to
Oh,
unbox the server, right? Another
buying the hardware takes 2 weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Now you just turn on the server of how many cores, whatever memory, just configure, and then boom, it's ready.
Yeah, but they don't have the flashing lights. The cloud doesn't have the flashing lights, and I'm telling you, I like the flashing lights. So, I love going into the server room and turning off all the lights and looking at them all flashing. That's cool, right? Come on. So, I think when you sign up for Azure, they should just send you a light panel. You can
Oh,
just
yeah, exactly. You should just buy one of these gigantic OLED TV and just put it in your data center, like that room, and just turn it on so that all this stuff, moving back and forth between the cloud and your own office.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, there's a cool app. Okay. So that being said, you had mentioned, customers too. Do you have any customer success stories around this? Maybe someone you want to talk about using, Citrix, UniPrint, and of course your cloud printing solution.
Well, I can't mention name. We have a lot of hospital obviously using our solution. It's interesting, like one of the hospital, as much as they like the pull printing, but apparently the ER departments, still the doctors still do not like to wait for print jobs. So they want the print jobs to be waiting for them. So we have to create what we call a smart routing So we detect where they are and then figure out where they are and then try to print the jobs to where the printer is that's next to them. And so that was one of a big thing that we do. So we have now a smart routing module that sort of track where the doctor is and does all this stuff. We also have a customer in UK that does all these Azure Marketplace printing. They just, as I said, move to the cloud and then find out that, how do I do the printing now? I got all these printers that's sitting in the office, and the Active Directory is not tied, so there's no security. How do I provide printing for this under that circumstances? Then they find us and they install UniPrint and get them all up running. So there's so many, I don't even know how to. Since I can't mention the name, I don't know how to put them together for you.
Not a problem. That's good. That's good. I want to bring Sagnik in and ask him. Citrix has a big push to the cloud, right? I was at Summit and it was cloud, and of course, you don't even have to go to Summit. You just know Citrix, the Citrix cloud. Citrix is a cloud company and does amazing things around in that space, and of course that's the space of the future as we've talked about today. So, Sagnik, can you maybe say, talk a bit about why Citrix, why UniPrint, why Azure?
I mean that's very much that's our current strategy that we are following, and which we are working towards enabling our customers a mobile workspace. Well, for one, Azure has been a proven platform when it comes to providing our customers with a reliable cloud service. They get 120,000 new subscriptions, I believe, every month, which talks a lot about the solution. And Citrix leverages Microsoft investments in Azure and remote desktop services that enable the Citrix cloud. So Citrix cloud is the fastest and the most flexible approach to deploying the Citrix technology. So it's very natural to know why Citrix cloud and Azure. We have a bunch of services like Citrix XenDesktop Essential Service that is a new cloud service that designed exclusively for this Azure Marketplace that simplifies your Windows 10 migration, the deployment, and the ongoing management at scale, and delivers the rich user experience via the Microsoft Azure. So that's one of those services. Another service that we provide is the XenApp service, of course, which combines the whole simplicity of the Microsoft Azure remote app with the enterprise security and the scaling that XenApp offers. The Azure platform as such enables IT to expand and contract computing resources on demand, and the elasticity, that's what we provide to customers, and that simplifies the overall management and reduces the cost. So I think and the whole pay as you go feature, that's just the reasons why, many of the reasons why why customers are adopting cloud. So that's definitely going. So we have definitely a lot going around with Azure. And while we see and a key element of these corporate strategy is being able to move all essential services that organizations need to the cloud, and printing all the essential has always been a tough problem to solve in Citrix. So we have a decent solution for universal printing, but then it's not a complete universal solution at the end of the day for enterprise challenges. This is and which is where UniPrint comes along very well. This is getting they are continuously able to innovate and improve the product offering for cloud-based customers. We recently got them verified with the Citrix Cloud and the Microsoft Azure environment, and we'll be showcasing our joint solution very much soon by the Synergy timeframe, and also the reliable experience that our joint solution at the end of the day provides to our customers. I think that's what makes the Citrix, UniPrint, and Azure a complete end-to-end solution.
Absolutely. Arron, anything to add there?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, Citrix is definitely one of the top leader in the cloud space. And we work very well with them in terms of getting the printing portion of it. And so it's a fantastic relationship between us, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, that's what I have for you today. Is there anything, Sagnik, anything you want to add or that, Arron and I talked about? And before we get into the last question of, where do you learn more? Arron, anything you'd like to add, before we wind this thing up?
I don't have much to add. I just thought of one of our customer solution that we provide. You can't mention the name, but the reason why they love our solution is because of the unified way of printing. They have Mac user, they have a mobile user, bring your own device, bring all that different platform, and they find UniPrint able to provide tap and print for all of them at the same time. So regardless of how they come into the office, and this is a big organization here, we're talking about like tens of thousands of users from different places, they all be able to print exactly the same way and retrieve the print job exactly the same way. And that's why they like UniPrint and pick us. And I thought that was I think that was amazing because that's what we were thinking right when we first introduced secure pole printing. That was the reason why we think the world should print, and we actually see it happening as customers pick us because of that. I think that was I was kind of wow, it works. And my aha moment in that sense. I thought I would share that with you.
That's great. Thank you. Sagnik, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I have here when I attended the healthcare conference, I heard a lot about a couple of customers did come around and asked us questions about UniPrint. So I think I do have heard a lot the joint solution. A lot of satisfied customers are out there, and it's always a good thing to hear our joint solution works and and customers looking for more. So yeah, I think this is good.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's great. It's not good, Sagnik. It's great. Now I sound like Tony the Tiger. Exactly. It's great. So that being said, my last question is, where can I learn more about UniPrint cloud printing and UniPrint in general? So, Arron?
www.uniprint.net. Everything is on the web nowadays, right? So just go there. And obviously, we also in Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. But everything is on the web. Just start with www.uniprint.net and you'll know everything.
Arron, everything's in the cloud.
Yes, that's right. The cloud now, not the web. On the back old day,
The web is so 1990s, my friend. We're in the cloud era now.
Sorry, we have elevated from the web to the cloud now. We're up in the sky now.
Exactly. The spiders have taken the elevator. I don't know. Anyway, I guess it's time to call this. On that bad joke, it's time to call this thing an episode. So, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I've really enjoyed this. So we've had you on a few times, and I think I learned a little bit more, definitely about what you guys are doing in the cloud, obviously, but also, I enjoyed the conversation around healthcare and pole printing as always. I love what you guys are doing in that area. One of definitely the strong suits of UniPrint, right? So what else do you say there about that? So, guys, thank you so much. And what else do I say? Let's call this an episode. Thank you very, very, very much.
Okay, thank you. Doug, it's always nice to talk to you too.
Thank you.
Hey, Doug, thanks. It's always a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. That concludes another episode of DABCC Radio. I loved it. I really had a great time chatting with Arron during this podcast, and I think you guys probably felt that. Just a great guy, and definitely check out what UniPrint is doing these guys have really made headway over the past, well, a while now, and really have a wonderful solution. I've been hearing not just from Arron, but just individuals throughout the community. The printing's come up, and the name UniPrint has been dropped many times. So check out what they're doing. They're really hitting their stride. So what do I say? Thank you so much, Arron, for taking the time to come on, and thank you, of course, to the folks at Citrix Ready for making this happen. I love doing podcasts with them, and Sagnik's great, and all these guys, all those guys are great. So really a lot of fun. What else do I say? Except for, well, I know what to say. I have to thank you guys. So thank you for listening to DABCC Radio. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Definitely check out www.dabccradio.com for the latest and greatest cloud and virtualization news and support resources. And check out our mobile apps so you can stay up to date with cloud, mobile printing, you name it, via our mobile apps. Just head over to the Android App Store or the Apple App Store and download away. Just search dabcc.com. So what do I say, guys? Thank you so much. This has been a fun episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. We have many shows in the future for you. I have a bunch queued up, so stay tuned. And thank you very much for listening to DABCC Radio.
Say DABCC?
DABC.
Say it again, DABCC.
DABC.
Can you say it again, DABCC?
DABC.
How about DABCC?
DABC.
DABCC.
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 DABCC.